Hi, friends. This is Caitlin. I'm so glad to be back here with you with Pink and Mean. Tonight, we are going to be doing some fun experimenting. I have a whole bin of embossing folders and stencils, and I have my inks, and we're going to play around with some different techniques that I've been seeing pop up, things I want to try out. And so I hope you guys are excited. I hope you guys, some people brought some crafty stuff to work on, or maybe you're just taking a little break and ready to hang out. So I saw Lisa was here super bright and early with Gail. Um, let's see, Miss Maria is here. Susan's checking in. Janice checking in. Oof, you told me last time too. It's J.A. Two separate names. I remember that. Um, oh, goodness. All right. Well, Annette's here too. There we go. Let's see. I skipped Jody. I missed Jody. Jody's checking in from Iowa. Jackie Ann. I'm going to write that down, Jackie Ann. Jackie. Got it. On it. Okay, Diane's here. Karen's got us over on Facebook. Melissa's here. Love to see it. Thank you guys so much for coming to hang out. Let me go ahead and swap us over. So we have so many things that we can talk about. I kind of want to look at the emboss and cut and inking. I definitely want to try out some of that blackout method inking, maybe with some snowflakes. I was thinking some like dark blue and snowflakes. I also want to play around with ink blending, maybe with something chunky like this guy, so that the indents are like filled with color and the black that for the blackout is like almost like stained glass filling. That's my idea with these. Yeah, the ornaments and the leaves are probably my top favorite emboss and cut. Last year we used the ornaments to make actual little ornaments, and those are really fun. So I want to play with those. I want to play with these. I really thought, if you were here last week, I sincerely thought that there were stencils and dies from Pink and Mean that fit together. And there kind of are. So like this, I always get it wrong. One of these is Garden Gate and one of them isn't. But this one that has all the circles, these do, let's see, I just had it. These line up. So you could, they're like just a teeny bit off, but that could be so cool to have it like start perfect and go a little off. And I also thought that the stars that just came out, I thought those matched up, but I just spent the last 15 minutes sitting here trying to like rotate them into fitting and they just don't. So I apologize if you heard me say that last week. I was in fact very wrong. If you needed like just to color in a couple things, which we could play with that too, you could like mask some of these individual stars and kind of like just go in and just stencil specific ones. That could still be really cute. So maybe we'll still play with that. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm starting from. And if anyone has any questions, these are some more embossing cuts that I have in my stack. If you guys haven't seen the embossing cuts before, we played with them a couple times, but they're so fun. So there's like a birthday set one. So they emboss and leave the indents and cut out your image all at the same time. So you have seashells. There's Easter eggs still in the bin. That's the only one I left in there because Easter in November didn't make any sense. The birthday, we have the big butterflies, snowflakes. We used these for our ornaments last year too. And then the leaves and the ornaments. Very fun. Let's see. It looks like Lori's checking in and Raquel's here. Connie's here. Thank you guys so much. All right, so I think I want to play with this blackout technique first. And I'm being super upfront. I haven't tried this. So we're going to find out tonight if it's beginner friendly or not. If it's something that takes finesse, because I have no practice with this. We're just going to go for it. We're going to do one to start with our snowflakes, where we're just going to do the white so that our snowflakes are white and our background is like navy, I think. And then depending on how that goes, we're just going to try the stained glass thing I want to try. So from what I've seen, what we're going to do is run this through my die cut machine as normal, right? We're using our snowflake embossing folder. You always, always, always want to go hinge first into your die cut machine. If you don't and it's not perfectly lined up, it will crack your embossing folder open. Like it'll break it. I speak from experience, so just take my word for it. Somewhere in this pile, I have an embossing folder that is shipping taped together. All right, so we can see just from that, we get a really beautiful impression, right? This is popped up. This side is sunken in. The sunken inside is the one we want, the one that's been embossed. You guys can tell me if I'm using that right. We also have, Pink and Main has a couple like 3D multi-layer embossing now. Oh, look, I found another one. There's a embossing cut. Where's the sweater? Our sweater one is multi-layer, and I was thinking that could be fun to do some inking with tonight too, because it's not just one layer. There's multiple layers in that one. Okay, but from what I understand, we want to take the side that has the snowflakes as wells, right? They're sunken into the paper. And we want to take our ink and we're going to trust the process. And we're going to swipe our ink lightly and pretty flat across our white cardstock. The other ones I've seen they make it pretty dark. So I'm going to put a little bit more pressure, but it could also be that my ink could use a little re-inking. You don't want to press hard because then you're going to fill up your snowflakes with color. So I think that looks so cool. Right, so like it's called Blackout because I've seen people do it with that black ink, but you could do it with any color ink. I think that looks really fun. That's a fun background just by itself. I mean, you guys know I love the tone on tone white, but that's really pretty. I'm gonna have to save these, and maybe next week we will have to make a bunch of like a couple cards just with the backgrounds that we're gonna have prepped from this. I will tell you, I am already covered in ink, so keep that in mind if you're gonna do this. But you're probably gonna get pretty inky. But besides that, I didn't make a mess on my table. That was pretty easy. All right, so this has me very excited then. It seemed easy when people were doing it online, but you never know. This is making me very excited for the stained glass thing I want to try. So I think I want to do, I don't think I want a full rainbow. I'm thinking maybe like a little cool tone winter feel. So let's start with our dress shop. I'm gonna pick 2 spots to go in with our pink. Switch over to night sky. There's some other purple in this brush. That's a lot more purple than I thought there was going to be. Totally fine. We're just not going to add the purple in 2 spots. We're going to only put the purple in 1 spot. And let's bring in some more of that pink. This really doesn't need to be a super smooth transition though, because we're going to add that we're going to add our, what are we doing? Black embossing lines, embossed lines. So we can get a little purple boost over here. Yeah, this barbershop definitely needs to be re-inked. Go in with lake side. I always want to say lake view, but I know now to not trust that instinct. All right, so a little kind of tie-dye action. I don't know if like random pattern is good or bad for this. We'll find out in a minute. Seems like my craft shelf wants us to heat emboss. It just threw the anti-static powder at me. All right, so that's cleaned off. So now we're going to run this through. Hi, Jocelyn. Oh, thanks, Jana. All right, we're going to run this through. Let me make sure this is going to go the right way. It's not. So we need to make sure for the look I'm going for, I want the black lines to be, I want the thin lines here to be black. So they need to be pushed up. So this needs to go like this way. Yeah, I think. Again, we'll find out in a minute. Okay. Yep. All right. Hey, Jocelyn. Bonjour. All right. So that's, again, really pretty by itself. But I want to see what happens when we ink over. I'm a little nervous because I inked this pad up. She juicy. This could go really good or really bad. We're going to try it anyway. All right, because I know there's a lot of ink. I'm like barely touching this, but look how instantly that pops. That's so crazy. See, I like this even better than like where the whole background is colored. For snowflakes specifically, I think that one makes a ton of sense. But this is really fun. And I love that. This is the one you should do. Right? It looks super cool. Definitely give it a minute if your ink pad is like mine, because like ink is definitely going to transfer and shift around here. I did have one little spot where my ink kind of overdid it, but that would be so easy to cover up in a what are my words? In a card, right? We could put a sentiment there, anything. That is really fun. I really like that. I want to do like 100 more of those. That makes me want to see what other thin. Oh, what about like that one? That could be fun. And you know what we could try too? Ink blending more strategically than I did and see what happens. Oh, the leaves would be cool too. This is pretty much just going to be me making a ton of card backgrounds. Okay, let's try this. We're going to have to do it the other way though, right? Yeah, that's right, because then these will push up, and that's what we want. Yeah, that's what we want. All right, so I'm going to washi tape. Oh my goodness, Sherry, I hope you are okay. I'm gonna tape my paper down here because we could always trim it. And we're gonna come in with our construction. And I'm not gonna worry about being like exact, but where there's a flower, I'm gonna try to put more yellow. Right, and we'll just kind of blend out from there. All right, down here. Right, that's kind of cool. Let's swap over to the putter. Who knows what ink is in this? Oh, it's coming on. Purple. It leaked out in the bin. Come. Okay, we're going to ignore the fact that I just got ink all over, blue ink from my fingers, all over this. Gotta post it. Hey, Virginia. No problem. I saw Barbara's in. I can't remember if I got to say hi to you yet. You know, it could be cool too. Let's add like a little pop of pink in our flowers. I already got ink splotches all over. Why not just go for it, right? So with a little bit of pink. And we'll go back in with construction one more time. My little finger Post-it finger guard. So when you go over that pink with the construction, it tones it down. So run that through. See how strategic. Inky. Let's that's right. Take a little bit of water on my fiber. Make sure I get the extra ink out of my embossing paper. And off my counter desk. Yeah, that. Hmm. It's still cool, but it's not as clean or crisp as that last one we did. Which is interesting. But still very cool. I definitely like the that more strategic ink blending. I'll hold it up so you can see what I mean. It's not perfect, but it still definitely has that like stained glass or wrought iron kind of look. And you can definitely tell like inking it intentionally versus just like having fun, how different those look. Yeah, I still like it too. I would definitely still use that for a card for sure. Very fun. I like that. All right, I want to do one more with this one. What do we want to do? Let's try a color cardstock and black ink. Let's see what happens when we do that. I have this moss colored cardstock, right? And they're turning out really cool. I'm kind of sad I haven't done this. Ah. Hey, Allie. I was hoping this would be a nice chill night before my trip tomorrow. I have to get up crazy early in the morning, like 3:30. So I was hoping for a nice, fun, experimenting night with you guys. And this is definitely meeting my expectations, exceeding, I would even say, my expectations for sure. All right, so colored cardstock. And for this one, I think I would want like dark um, background with light vines, but maybe we should even borrow an ink. I kind of want to see like a green on green, but like a darker green. Let's see. Got Catherine Pooler, Deck the Halls. she's inky. Hmm. I don't know. This is not swiping wise. This is not giving me everything that my pink and beans were doing. It's kind of pretty because it's like lightly shading the inside while I'm going over it so many times. But it's kind of cool because it's giving itself its own like a variation within the leaves too. That's so cool. So that's our colored cardstock with ink on top. We have our more specific intentional ink blending with our ink. We have our free flow ink blending with that. And then this was white cardstock with blue. And they all look really different. Like even these two are the same in general, right? And these two are the same in general, but they still look so different. That's really fun. My whole hand is covered in ink. It will come off eventually. All right, let's get all this extra ink out. Okay. Let's play around for a second with our emboss and cut folders, just one of them, just because it seemed like there were some people who maybe haven't played with these before. But I want to see what that looks like if we ink over that, like if the die cut part makes a difference. I don't know. Well, or maybe I'll do the snowflakes. Let's do this. Maybe I don't know if I want my fingers red, but maybe we could bring in a little red and put a little candy cane stripe or something. Definitely make sure we get that stripy one. For the emboss and cut, if you want them all, you need a 6x6 piece of cardstock. Nothing crazy, but I already have these trimmed down. Okay. So one pass through, and we get our, maybe. Huh, interesting. That's never happened before. We've used this many times. Okay, let's try that again. Here we go. Okay. If you could see the state of my die cut machine, you'd understand when I tell you that I feel like that was my die cut machine, not the folder. She's seen better days. All right, so if we do these a couple different ways, let's borrow a red. Let's go ahead. Ooh, this Catherine red. Cranberry fizz. We use this for our little Holly. Have I tried glitter? Like glitter paper, glitter paste. Must just be something about these ones. It's not giving a super clean swatch across. Getting a little bit in there. But if you like a little bit of a vintagey, shabby chic kind of look, I think that's pretty cool. Could just be the way that the pads are on these two. Let's try like a distress ink. A lot of people have. So let's get a red distress. And so it could be the mini. Let's go like a candy apple red. Or I do like that better. It's still also not perfect, but they're still pretty cool. Like that. They definitely feel completely opposite. Like the Catherine Pooler feels like it's really like suctioned on, versus the Distress feels like it's grazing the top. It's like doesn't even want to touch the paper. And then the Pink and Mean feels right in the middle. Foil. How would we want to foil? You can ink blend like a foilable before you run it through and foil it. But if we embossed it, it would make foil not stick in places, I would think. Or maybe when it like passed through, it would flatten out. I don't know. I was not mentally prepared for foiling. I really want to try this sweater print. That's the one that's like the 3D. It has multiple layers. I'll try that. And then we can also do the star one and see if we can like intentionally ink blend with our stencil instead of like trying to eyeball it. I just forget this one needs a different. Configure that extra thickness. Okay, so this one is that sweater. So you can see it's like there's a layer that's pushed down, there's a layer that's kind of flat, and then there's two separate depths that are pushed up. Like there's just a lot going on here. And so I'm curious to see what's going to happen. See, like it's only picking up the highest level. Which doesn't really look like knit, but is a cool like pattern. So then let's see what happens. Whack my finger, I think. Let's see what happens if we add some ink with brush. I'm not pushing hard because I still want that deepest layer to stay white if we can. I think I like it. What do you guys think? It's pretty. Yeah, I love the pattern as a tone on tone. That's how I usually use it. But I am surprised at how the ink is like taking on that top section. I like it though. Oh, you want to see the other side? You can do the other side. The other side is weird because it's going to do just the betweens. But it is cool. Yeah, I think both of them are interesting. It's just fun to see like what would happen, right? Like, do we like it? Is it weird? Is it a good weird? That's why I like these experimenting nights with you guys. That's so funny. Sherry likes the back better. Gail likes the front better. I just think it's cool to know that you can have that in your back pocket. Like if you ever just need like a fun, different texture to go check your embossing folders and see what's there, see what you can ink, see what the back of it looks like. I don't know. Okay, let's try these stars. And do you guys know that you can emboss with stencils? Do you know that? Let's see. Let's take one that I know we don't have. It's been a minute since I've done it. I think the last time I did it, I used craft foam. I don't think I have any craft foam now. Do I? If I was craft foam, where would I be? That's the question. but I have embossed with stencils before. Maybe even if we just put some paper, some extra paper, we might be able to do it. Oh, Jackie Ann said for the sweater one, maybe if we ink blended it first, then embossed and added the darker color just to the top. I like that. Yeah, agreed too, Sherry. Some embossing powder and embossing folders definitely look better on the deboss side. Let's try. I want to see if I can get this to work without foam. But if you have a sheet of craft foam, you can also try running your cardstock through with a stencil. I have my cardstock doubled up, hoping that it'll give it like a little cushion to press into. Oh yeah, look. Here we go. Feel a little dirty, but right, it's not as dramatic as the embossing is not as dramatic as an embossing folder, but that's still pretty cool. I want to know now what's going to happen. It's definitely the opposite side of what I would want. But yeah, so it's definitely, I would say, not raised up high enough to be as like clear as our other one, but you could ink it. You could just leave it tone on tone. But just so you know, you can play around with your stencils. And the foam, the reason I used the foam before is the foam gives your paper something deeper to squish into. So I'm not saying it'll then be the exact same as an embossing folder, but it would definitely give you more height than just doing the paper like I just did. But if you were going for like a Dalmatian, right, that's like 101 Dalmatians kind of all grungy paws. And then you get double. You get a stencil and you get that. Oh, I'm so silly. You know what we could have done? There you go. That solves the problem. We could have done that if I can figure out how it lines up and then lined it back up, right? And then stenciled. There you go. We could have just done that and stenciled over it. And then we would have had a 3D embossed stenciled background. Or you can do it this way. Whatever makes you happy. Okay, let me do this one. And I want to cut more white. So let's use the other green we were using before. And we're going to do the same kind of idea where we're lining up our stencil over our embossed shapes, because I know the shapes are the same size. It just looks like the layout doesn't quite match up. And we will pick and choose which stars we want to have. Oh, you know what? Who asked for glitter? Was that Karen? Karen asked for glitter. This is the one where we'll do glitter. Where is my glossy gel? And glitter. Green. Let's do some teal. Oh, you know what? No. This is so pretty. Let's do silver bells. Where's all my stuff? I don't have a palette. That's okay. We're going to use our pink bench scraper as our palette. That'll be fine. Oh no. See, the thing is, I usually make my husband do this before he goes outside. There we go. If you don't have one of these Simon Says Stamp Positively Everything tools, get one, because that just totally opened this jar and saves your hands. All right, so glossy gel, which it looks like I need to be reordering soon. Where is the spatula? See, this is what happens when I just like fully jump into a on the whim idea. No, no spatulas, no scrapers. I find that very hard. What did you? Besides the fact that now I need to order the little scraper spatulas and more glossy gel. We're just going to use a bone folder. Actually, we're going to use the end of this pokey thing. It's like a bone folder on one side and a pokey tool on the other from the dollar store. We're making it work. Okay. Just going to put 1 scoop. I will tell you, my lid might still get a little stuck here and there, but I've had that glossy gel for over a year and it hasn't even begun to dry out at all. So we're going to tap on a little bit of our silver bells. Like, come on. Except I tapped too far to the edge. Now we have a glitter mess. Would it be in live with me if there wasn't a glitter mess? That was more than I was expecting to come out. I'm not even going to mix it away. That's more than enough. All right, so we're going to pick and choose on our embossed side. And what I want to do is take my, I'm going to use full stick Post-its, but if you have masking paper or whatever you prefer, I'm going to corner off one of these bigger stars. And if you're like, man, that's a lot of work to just do that, then you don't have to do this one. All right, so that is lined up over a star. Yep. Yep. 100%. The only thing I'm going to have to be very careful of is that I'm not putting, if in hindsight, I would do one closer to the edge. So that you don't have to worry about your stencil squashing one that you already pasted, glitter pasted. That was silly. Right, so there's our bonus lesson for the day. Oh, pasty. I'm not going to do this whole thing because I'm just going to make a huge mess. I can already feel it coming. But 100%, if you have one of these stencils that may not line up, but the sizes are the same, you could go in and just pick and choose. And that way you'll still have some that are raised, embossed raised, and you'll have some that are basically double because they'll be raised and then the glitter paste will raise them even more. So I will let this dry. I will show you guys how it turns out on Tuesday. But yeah, I think that is our experimenting done for tonight. We have, let me move this out of the way, I'll clean that off in a second. We have all of these very cool backgrounds now that we played with, just doing embossing and then inking over the top, swiping the ink over the top. So that's pretty cool. I hope this definitely helps some of you go decide to play with your stencils to see if you can emboss with them. I hope it takes the fear out of taking your ink. The only thing I will tell you is I am inky for sure. So gloves or like a masking paper or something on your fingers if that bothers you. If it doesn't, go for it. But otherwise, I am extremely pleasantly surprised at how fun and easy this one was, guys. 10 out of 10 recommend. Definitely going to kind of depend on what ink you're using and what stencil or what embossing folder you're using. But in general, 100% worth trying out. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It looks like in the comments that you did too. This was very fun. I really needed this tonight. So thank you for letting me just get messy and play with you guys. I will be back Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. I don't have any plans yet, so if you have a request, let me know. Yeah, otherwise, we're just going to be bopping around. I will take a picture with Mommy Lay, Miss Lay Ralston, over the weekend in Chicago, and report back to you guys. I have that penguin card I'm going to give her when I see her tomorrow. But yeah, otherwise, I hope that you guys have a very fun and safe weekend. I hope that you get to think of some things or do some new things that make you smile, get some crafting done, and I will see you guys back here on Tuesday. So until next time, guys, happy crafting and have a good night.